Richard here, and I'm from Bali recording this. I've actually been on a 3 month tour of Southeast Asia with my partner Zen, and we were supposed to come back to South Africa on the 24th of March, but our flights were cancelled because of lockdown. But I'm not complaining, I'm on an island. But yeah, the signal's not the best here, so we're doing a pre-recording session for you guys. Um, it will be on the three investment strategies to come out better is after this lockdown, after Corona, because I like to tell people that yes, there's lots of opportunities right now, but not every opportunity is the right opportunity. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys, recording it from my cabin here in Bali. But yeah, chat soon and much love.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am here with Richard Harrington. Richard, how are you doing?
Hi there. I'm well, thanks, Susana. And yourself?
I am excellent. Thank you so much. We're so excited to have you here at the International Connections Summit. All the teachers that have collected from around the world have the same ethos, and I know from speaking to you, you have the same ethos. What made you want to be a part of the summit?
Yeah, no, the timing was amazing. When I received the message from Brian, I just said two words. I was like, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, because there's a lot of panic in the market right now, and people need to know the truth that that there's panic now, but the schools will eventually reopen, um, businesses will eventually open, these airports will eventually reopen, and life will return back. We just need to make sure, who do we come out on the other side of this? Let's come out better and stronger. So I thought if I could add my voice, yeah, to that, I'm in.
Amazing. Now you are a phenomenal success story in many different ways. You grew up in Cape Town,
Yes.
but you found your way to your version, and I want to really specify that it's your version of success because there are so many different versions of success. Your version of success during the 2008 collapse. So tell us a little bit
Yes, yes.
about that story.
Yeah, I told a lot of my friends what's happening now. I actually have first-hand experience because I began my journey um, is on the stock market in the 2009 financial crisis, and and I mean we've learned a lot since then. So I believe this impact now from your corona will be much less severe than that crisis because we've learned a lot since then. Likewise, in the Great Depression, the impact in '09 was a lot less severe than the Great Depression because we've learned a lot since then. And so, whenever there's a crisis, it's really an opportunity to to learn and grow. Um, and so, yes, I bought my first share in my last year of university, which was yeah 2009, and I've been on the market since then. So yeah, it's my 12th year now of yeah, buying shares, and that's really what I believe. It's what I learned from Warren, um, yeah, Buffett, that it's not about these overnight riches.
Yes.
Um, it's about just walking the journey, and um, and one of my friends are like, um, especially when this news broke with um, Corona in the States. So they shut down the his US market for 2 days. And I said, you know what? A real investor isn't worried if they like shut down the market for 5 years because they know they are is in it for the long run. They
Yes.
know they bought a quality share. And that's the mindset which I is that in '08 that I'm in it for the long run, and that's my same mindset now, that 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 whatever we're doing now, we're doing it for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, not just want to make a quick buck.
Absolutely, and I think that that's such great advice, because one of the things we were speaking about, and we are going to be giving you guys 3 strategies on how to turn this crisis into an opportunity. So bear with us, but I just want to give you some information surrounding this all. Um, Richard, one of the things that you said to me is that you really want to assist in restoring calm, because people are freaking out at the moment. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
and obviously that they have the right to be freaking out, because things are up in the air, things are unsure. How do you hope to guide people through restoring a little bit of calm?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Susanna, you're right there. That people have the right to freak out because it's serious. Like many of the people are just losing their jobs, or losing their businesses. Um, his lives have been lost. So it's serious. But what I tell people financially, it's okay to panic, but it's not okay to panic sell, because when you panic sell, what what you done was you changed your paper loss into actual loss, because if your financials went down because of the crisis, it just went down on paper. It's not real unless you sell it. I mean, these markets work in a cycle. So as long as you don't panic sell, as long as you just hold, it will recover. And what I want to remind people is that in the global financial meltdown in '09, South Africa's banks was really untouched. South Africa's financial systems was really untouched. We have world class banks, we have a world class stock market. So we withstood, is one of the few countries we withstood the global financial meltdown. And I believe that we will also withstand this corona meltdown because we have a solid financial this infrastructure is in South Africa. And I mean, even if you just look at our past, what we've been through, if you look at our history, we are a very resilient nation. I mean, 1994 has happened and we are still here. I mean, the Zumas happened, the Guptas happened, we are still here.
Crystal.
Um, Lockdown will happen, the COVID will happen, we will still be here. South Africa and South Africans, we are very resilient, and we should remind ourselves of that in times like this. And so I'm really, really am excited for the people that we will become after this. But it all depends on is having a is healthy approach to a crisis. And I tell people there is not a crisis that doesn't present an opportunity. Opportunities are there if you seek them out.
Absolutely. I love that you are so passionate and proud to be a South African, because I am equally passionate and proud to be a South African. And I think that's where
Yes.
we connected immediately, is we've got so many things that we believe in the same things, and so many equal passions. Um, I am so proud of the way that our president and that our government has responded to this crisis, and
Yes.
how they've been handling it. So I think that everything that you're saying is absolutely correct. And I think that we are well on our way to being one of the countries that handles this in the best way possible. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
I really, really love what you're saying there. Richard, I'm going to go back a little bit before I go forward, because some people know who you are and what you do. And I'm just assuming that people know who you are and what you do. But you bought your first share in 2009. How much did you buy
Yeah.
that for? And what have you since then, like until now? What have you achieved? Because I think this is very important before I go into the next question that I want to ask you.
Yeah, so it all began when I read my first Warren Buffett book. It was in university, and I told people that I've actually read 9 of it so far, because it's just it resonates with me that if you look at the stock market as businesses, you'll make money. If you look at the stock market as a casino, you will lose money. But you will laugh when I say what was the value of my first share. It was 160 rand. Um, it was a banking share because I was a student at the time, so I didn't have a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Um, it was a banking share, and it makes sense because we had the financial crisis. So the banking shares were really cheap. Um, and then I began to progress with building um, a diversified portfolio. So as Warren said, you mustn't have all your eggs in one basket. So then you diversify across many sectors. So then I went into your tech stocks, your mining stocks, but I had a goal to replace my salary because I knew the day I replace my salary, I will resign.
Mm.
So I was after university. I became I'm a junior as analyst in a grad program, and then I was a financial analyst for 3 years. Um, and then I resigned because the returns of my share portfolio matched my salary as a financial analyst.
In three.
So I managed, yeah, well, 3.5 years.
Okay. That's
So
brilliant.
so I technically became financially free in less than 4 years. So I tell people it's possible, but it took less than 4 years, and um, and I looked at it as building wealth for the long term, not here's a particular share that is my golden ticket, or this share is my lottery. No, I had a plan to replace my salary. So my salary was my goal. So if that could be the returns of my shares, then I've reached my goal. So that kind of became my north star that I want the returns from my share report from my share portfolio to replace my salary, and it did, and that is a beautiful feeling. I tell people when your passion project um, replaces your salary financially and you step out and you go into your passion full time, that's the best feeling and it's so worth it. But you need that as a north star. So there's
Absolutely.
a north star, and I kept on reading and learning from Warren Buffett.
Sorry, we broke up a little bit there. So having that North Star event initially, having that goal going, okay, as soon as I reach this amount, then I'm going to quit my job, for instance, or which is what you did. As soon as I match my salary, I quit my job so that I've got more time to do this and figure out what next. Now, you achieved that in 4 years. So that was 2009. So that's 2013. It's now 2020. So that's 7 years later. What have you achieved in the last 7 years?
Yeah, so I went on like the cliche path with oh, I don't need to work for money anymore, but what do I do? Because I still want to make a contribution and have a purpose. And then I thought, let me teach what I know, which is shares. And and I remember I used to teach people out of Mug and Bean is how to buy their own shares. And it was just a 1 hour a course I developed where I used the best out of my BCom investments and my best out of my work experience, what I learned from is Warren, and I made 1 hour of value. And that was a course I called an investment manager without a broker. That course spread like wildfire. People requested it in Durban, PE, Pretoria. So we Skyped it, we Zoomed it, and that's what really um, has handed me passion because I could see that I was empowering people with a new skill. One of my clients, which I trained, was he worked for the Department of Health, and he told me, Richard never knew he could buy his own shares. He thought you needed a, I mean, he thought you needed a registered fund manager. And I said, my brother, that law has been adjusted 10 years ago. You can buy your own shares using your own online account, using your own bank, and just seeing people's mindsets being changed, and it just handed me more passion. And I tell people, your passion is for you, your purpose is for others. And when you serve others, that's what makes you more passionate for what you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think the secret there, Richard, and it's what I think keeps coming up actually in all our underlying subtext is knowing, having the knowledge to know what to buy, what to invest in. Because also I think that we're in a time where, yes, it's a good time to invest, but knowing what to invest in, I think that that's the key secret, not to panic buy, from companies and then
Yeah.
buy the wrong stocks. How do you figure that out?
Yeah, so I use a three-pronged approach, and I use this every time before I buy a share. It's used by the greats like Warren Buffett, Robert Kiyosaki, um, because is every recession presents lots of opportunities,
Hmm.
but not all opportunities are the right opportunities. Last month I was at the Singapore the stock exchange, and I recorded a video there saying that recessions means the stock market is on sale. And I received a lot of messages from people saying, yes, everything is low. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy. But some shares are meant to be low because they're just bad businesses. It doesn't mean it's a recession. So then, how do you know is what's a right investment and what's a bad investment? So I think I'll just run through the three things now. If that's okay.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, so I like to begin with number one, you need to evaluate the business before you look at the share price. Because many people look at the share price and they're like, oh my word, this share was 10 Rand, now it's 15 Rand. It went up by 50%. Must I buy it? Now, looking at the share price, that's not investing. That that is speculating.
Hmm.
Because Warren actually says he doesn't look at the share price at all because it might influence him when he evaluates the business. So you want to start with the business first. So you need to look at numbers. Like they say, numbers never lie. You need to look at the balance sheets of this business. You need to look at the profit margins. You need to look at the management team. What is and what's their track record? You need to look at the business model. Like, does this business model make sense? Is it a growth business or is it dying? But 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 the number one thing is you want to evaluate the business, because if you invest in good businesses over time, that share prices will rise and you'll make a return. Because the stock market, it's just a collection of businesses.
Hmm.
So I tell people, if you don't know how to evaluate a business, then you're not investing. You're speculating.
Okay.
And yeah, and then that brings me to the second point, that assets build wealth, not speculating. Assets build wealth. So like as you said at the beginning, we all need to have our own definition of success. Um, Mine is, if I can live out my purpose, then I'll be successful in life. Because it's one thing to know your purpose; it's another thing to actually live it every day. But
Yes.
when we speak about financial success, it's really the net worth of your assets. Um, yeah, it's really the net worth of your assets, because as your assets accumulate over time, the wealthier you become.
Hmm.
So when you're looking for the right opportunity, you're looking at what will this yield from this asset. Like example, a farm. You look at what the farm produces to look if it's a good investment. It's the exact same with shares. It's the exact same with a business. what is the assets yielding here? Because many people buy businesses and then they look at the books and they saw they just bought debt because they never took time to look at what is under the hood, what are the assets here, and I can speak for hours about how to evaluate assets, but I don't want to bore some people. So I'll just
A good starting point, because I think a lot of people don't
yeah,
know to do that. So just knowing that can activate, okay, next time I want to look at investing in a business, I need to actually understand the business and evaluate it correctly, and then look at it as an asset. Am I on the right track?
definitely, because wealth is an accumulation of assets over time. If you don't have assets, you're not wealthy.
Mhm.
Assets is the name of the game, and that's why I have never had a job since 2013, because I have assets that sustains my lifestyle.
Mhm.
So if you want financial freedom, you need assets, because it's the assets that will provide that financial freedom. So when you're looking at, okay, there's a recession now, there's bargains here, bargains there, there's opportunities everywhere, just stop and ask yourself this one simple question: is this a real asset?
Mhm.
Or is it just another fad, just another trend? Is it the real asset?
Mhm.
And I tell people, it's honestly, there's just four main assets: shares, real estate, businesses, and you. You are your most valuable asset. That's is all the assets we have. Everything else, it's just fads, it's just trends. Um, so you want to build your asset base, and will this opportunity build your asset base? If it's yes, then you go for it. If you're not sure if it's an asset, stay away from it because there's only one way to build wealth. It's not overnight riches. It's not winning the lotto. It's accumulating that assets every day, every month, every year. Um, and then the third point is your cash. Cash is a bad investment. Cash is a bad investment. So what happens every time there's a crisis, there's a bailout. What
Mhm.
happens in the bailout is they print money, and that boosts inflation because now you're printing money and there's not sufficient goods and services that was produced in relation now to this new money that was floating around. And inflation eats health. So I tell people,
Inflation
yes, you want to make
up there, Richard. Inflation does what?
inflation. Inflation eats wealth. I mean, inflation is the thief of wealth. Um, and the only way you beat inflation is is not in a bank account. Is not in cash. It's in assets. So now, when you're looking at what is the right opportunity, which one you have to skip, you don't have to take every opportunity, but you need to take some opportunity. You need to take action because there's no reward to stay in cash. There's
Mhm.
no reward to stay in cash. Cash is not an investment. It's not an asset because it doesn't appreciate in value because of inflation. So, so what you want to do is how can I put the cash which I have into assets, real assets, because we have this opportunity right now. And I really like tell people for investors, the most important term is ROI, which is your return on investments, and then also your COI, which is your cost of inaction.
You broke up
Many
there.
people,
ROI, which is your return on investment, and then your.
yes, and then your COI, which is the cost of inaction. So there's many of angel investors that are like, are beating themselves up because they saw the whole Uber thing, Airbnb thing, and they let it pass them by. The cost of inaction. Um, and and I tell people, but you can't think about Uber now. That is that's old news. That's 10 years ago. You need to think what is the next booming industry. But my his whole point is you want to get out of cash. Now is not the time to play it safe. Now is the time to take advantage of this opportunity. Because here's the thing: the rich actually become richer in recessions.
Mm.
Because when the rest of the world sees doom and gloom, rich people are seeing opportunity,
Mm.
and they pick down those they pick up those rundown assets, rundown houses, rundown shares, rundown businesses. And when that economy flips, they sell it at a massive profit because an economy is always flips, it moves in cycles.
Yeah. So for the people out there, just on that note, before I keep moving ahead, for the people out there who are going, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not rich and I don't have, masses amounts of money to invest now during this time, I would like to say, and tell me if I'm wrong, by choosing the right investment, even if it is as small as 170 Rand, like your first share, if you can take the time now to figure out what the right investment is, and even if you're taking something as small as that, that is a step towards creating your wealth. Am I correct, Richard? What would be
Definitely.
advice in this situation to people who are going, okay, that's great, yay for the rich, damn it, I'm not one of them, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. So, first of all, rich is a mindset. So that you first believe that you're wealthy on the inside, and then it manifests on the outside. So you first have to believe that you don't need money in your bank account to know that you are wealthy, and so you need to know if it was possible for that person, it's possible for me because we're all born with the same stuff.
Yeah.
There's no special people out there. We were all just focused in where we want to be. So yes, you can start small with your example. I mean, you can literally, it's even now, buy a share with 100 Rand. You can start small. And I mean, all big businesses was once small businesses. So I tell people never despise small beginnings. I mean, everyone has to start somewhere. And like that old analogy, it's very hard to move a parked car. But once that car is moving, it's very easy to steer it. Very easy because you got momentum now. So start with 100 Rand, start with 1,000 Rand, but then have a goal. After the third month, I want to boost 1,000 Rand to 2,000 Rand. By the sixth month, I want to boost the 2,000 Rand to 5,000 Rand. Why? Because you have that North Star in mind. You know where you want to be. And I mean, that North Star has helped me because it saved me when I moved far off into the left, far off into the right. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm way off my North Star now. Let me come back here. Let me come back here. Because many people are so smart and intelligent, but they just wasting their time researching about space, or I wonder if there's aliens out there, because they don't have a North Star. Once you have a North Star, you're so focused, and that North Star becomes your beacon for when you know you drifted off. So then put that North Star in place. Start with a 100 Rand or 1,000 Rand, and then just have a goal for when you're going to lift that. Because it's not about being perfect; it's about progress. We just need to celebrate the progress. So like even if you got one share and you're like, Richard, I'm not rich, I have one share. Yes, but last month you had no shares. So celebrate the one share. Celebrate the progress.
Yes. Reach for progression, not for perfection. As a recovering perfectionist, I know this term.
Yes, amen.
So Richard, we've got about 10 minutes left, and I just want to recap to make sure that everybody that is listening is on track with us. We are speaking about 3 investment strategies that are going to help you turn this crisis into an opportunity. And from our conversation, I'm going to say, and tell me if I'm wrong, that the strategy number 1 is have a North Star, have a goal.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Would that be your number 1 first step to take?
Definitely. It is. It's helped my life so much to just hand me the direction.
So create a North Star, an actual direction. And then step number 2 is arm yourself with the right knowledge. That's what I'm getting. So that we don't start making decisions without actually having the right knowledge to back our decisions. So don't follow trends, because I remember us having this conversation as well. And you learned this from Warren Buffett, correct?
Yeah.
Don't follow
Yeah.
trends. Don't just do what everybody else is doing. Don't panic buy. Actually figure out what you are investing in, what that company stands for, its history, look at the numbers, and then make a decision.
Yes, yes.
Am I doing good?
Amazing, amazing.
And then we haven't touched on the third one, but what I would say is that I'm going to guess what you're going to say, and then let me know if I'm right, is get the correct support to go forward.
Yes, yes. That is, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head, because once you have your North Star, you actually need a circle around you that will support you to get in that North Star. Because many people have the North Star, they have the vision and the goals, but then they forget to remove those people that are just holding them back, that are just draining them, distracting them. You've got to have people in your life that is supporting your North Star. Um, is if they're not there to just help you, then they were just there for the season. I mean, like Warren has a joke. He was asked once, like, why hasn't he left Omaha? Because it's like a small town, and he's like, because we get little news flow here, little stimulation. Because he said if he had to take advice of the people on Wall Street, he would have been broke today. And hit the nail on the head, because I don't listen to any market analyst or market commentators or any media, because I would be broke today. I just listen to is Warren Buffett, because he's a billionaire. And I mean, if I want to be the best, I have to learn from the best. So when you're choosing your support system and your mentors, you want to choose people that's more successful than you. Because if they're more successful than you, they lift you up. Many times, if they're less successful than you, they want to pull you down, because they're projecting their failures onto you. They want to pull you down. They want to step on you. So you want to surround yourself with a mentor that is years above you, so that they can lead you and lift you. And so that was a tip from Warren, that you don't need stimulation. You don't. You just need the knowledge for the decision that you need to make right now. Because many times, if we're over stimulated, we're just confused, and then we make the wrong decisions. But when you have the knowledge for the decision you need to make, you're clear, and your clarity is power.
100%. Clarity is absolutely power. So I love that. And I know that Warren Buffett is your, I don't want to say your idol, your mentor.
Role model, absolute number one role model.
Model, the person that you follow. Out of Warren's books, because you've read them all, which one would you suggest people start with?
Wow, that's a tough one. Look, I love the one Becoming Warren Buffett. Just to think like him, to get his mindset, and then also the Snowball. That's a great book by Warren. and then obviously the world famous Intelligent Investor, which was written by Warren's mentor, Benjamin Graham. Intelligent Investor. For that, I think is my top three books.
Those are your top three books. Amazing. And then for people that are nervous about going on this journey, diving in, what kind of support systems could you possibly offer them?
Yeah, there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of crazy things happening, and that's why I launched that first business. Try to teach people to buy their own shares because I want to really help people to go back to the old school investing, which is buying shares and just holding it for the long term, not to buy and sell every day. So so I will be is hosting a free webinar. It will happen next week. The details should pop up after this interview. If you guys are interested to learn more about investing and not being a trader, uh, but investing into shares for the long term using the Warren Buffett value investing approach. Um, the webinar will be for 1 hour, and I share all my tips and his lessons I've learned, and it's free. So yeah, you'll get all the details to register for that. But if this is something that interests you and you really want to build wealth for the long term, you want to build those assets. I mean, like I say, you can start small. Just make sure that you have a North Star, you have the right mentors, um, you will be successful as well. I mean, all we need is already inside of us. All you ever need is already inside of you. You just need to be in the right environment that places a demand on you to bring it out. And that's why I'm really excited for this whole um, lockdown phase we're in, because for the first time, people are just in an environment that places a demand on their potential that's been latent or dormant. Some for the first time, there's a crisis that can snap them out of that pattern of just going through the motions. Something's happening inside of them to wake them up.
Yeah.
And I know this conference has been amazing. I mean, we've had amazing speakers from around the world, and I just know that people will never be the same. Because once you see something, you can't unsee it. So I'm very, very excited for what's to come out of this conference, from what's to come post lockdown, post Corona, and I'm saying post because it will pass. This too shall pass. Nothing lasts forever. We just want to make sure that we come out better, we come out stronger. So yeah, you guys will receive that information for that free webinar.
Amazing. Richard, I just think you are phenomenal. You've got such a wonderful
Stop.
and and just such a lovely way of looking at things. I've definitely learned a few little tips here. Your 1 hour webinar, I assume that is the 1 hour that you have taught people, which I think can really arm people with some knowledge that they will need to make the right decisions. And I urge everyone out there to really look at it like that, that there is this opportunity now to grow in a different way. And so many of us are scared of the online world, that are not involved in the online world. And even for the people who have been involved in the online world, this is a new way of doing business that is emerging. And we all need to dive in and embrace it and be brave. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is doing the right thing despite the fear. So put on your big girl pants and put on your big boy underpants, and and I really, really, really do urge you all that are listening to take a leap of faith into knowing that you can create your version of wealth, your version of success. And I believe that, Richard, you will be a phenomenal support to anybody who works with you. So blessings and light and love and gratitude to you on your journey. And thank you for your time and sharing your knowledge with everyone today.
Yes, and I just want to thank you, Susana, as well. And you did an amazing job. And I just want to say that all these interviews you're doing, I know you did one with the awesome Robin Banks, and it is all the seeds that we are planting there. And yeah, you're just such a natural. And thank you so much for your time. And I really appreciate it as well. And I know that lots of people has hopefully enjoyed this as much as we did.
I hope so too. And I will see everybody online a little bit later today at 4:40. But lots of love and light to everyone listening. Thank you again, Richard. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.